You've probably learned that many types of non-fiction books, books that are real, have a lot of photographs in them. But did you know that there are some non-fiction books, books that are real, that instead of having a photographer take pictures, they actually have illustrations? I'm going to read you a non-fiction book, a book that's real, that has a lot of very helpful illustrations in the book to help you, the reader, understand what exactly the author is trying to teach you. This book is called Hottest, Coldest, Highest, Deepest by Steve Jenkins. Hottest, Coldest, Highest, Deepest by Steve Jenkins. If you could visit any spot on Earth, where would you go? What if you wanted to see some of the most amazing natural wonders of the world? There are deserts that have not seen rain for hundreds of years, and jungles where it pours rain almost every day. There are places so cold that even in the summer it's below freezing, and spots where it's often hot enough to cook an egg on the ground. There are mountains many miles high and ocean trenches that are even deeper. You can find rivers thousands of miles long and waterfalls thousands of feet high. Where are the very hottest and coldest, windiest and snowiest, highest and deepest places on the earth? Travel the world and visit the planet's record holders. The Nile in Africa is the longest river in the world. The illustrator has drawn a little chart for us. It shows where we live, the United States of America, from Florida all the way to California. The United States is 2,750 miles wide. But if you look underneath our little map of our great big nation, you can see how it compares to the length of the rivers of the world. The Nile River, 4,145 miles long, the longest river in the world, stretches almost twice as long as the United States. The Amazon River is 4,700 miles long, again, almost twice as long as the United States. The Chang'an River, 3,964 miles long. And the Mississippi River, that one belongs to us. The Mississippi River in America stretches 3,710 miles long. That river apparently is longer than the United States of America is wide. Isn't it interesting how an illustrator can help us understand these really big numbers just by drawing a little chart for us? The Amazon River in South America is not as long as the Nile River. The Amazon is 4,007 miles, but it is considered mightier because it carries half of all the river water in the world. The Chang'an in Asia is 3,964 miles, and the Mississippi, Missouri in the United States, that is 3,710 miles. These are the world's third and fourth longest rivers. Lake Mccoll in Russia is the world's oldest and deepest lake. The lake was formed about 25 million years ago. In one spot, it is 5,134 feet deep. Here's another chart by the illustrator. It shows our tallest building, the Empire State's Building from New York City, 1,250 feet tall up to its spire. And look how much deeper the lake is by comparison. That would be probably almost 5 or 6 Empire State's Buildings. The largest freshwater lake in the world is Lake Superior, one of the Great Lakes in North America. But Lake Mccoll, 5,500 square miles, contains more water than any other lake on Earth, more than all 5 of the Great Lakes combined. Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world. Its peak is 29,028 feet above sea level. The highest mountain in North America is Mount McKinley, also called Denali, in Alaska at 20,320 feet. Mount Whitney in California is the highest peak in the continental United States. Its summit is 14,491 feet above sea level. So we have Mount Whitney in the continental United States. Then we can compare it to Denali. And then Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, above sea level. Mount Everest is considered the highest mountain above sea level in the world, but it's not really the tallest. Measured from its base on the floor of the ocean, Wienecke in Hawaii is 33,476 feet tall. Only the top 13,796 feet of Wienecke are above sea level. The hottest spot on the planet is Al-Azizia, Libya, in the Sahara, where a temperature of over 136 degrees Fahrenheit has been recorded. See the thermometers? They show you how the hottest temperatures have been recorded all over the world. At 134 degrees, that's our United States Death Valley in California, only 2 degrees off from the Sahara. The coldest place on the planet is Vostok, Antarctica. A temperature of 129 degrees Fahrenheit below zero was recorded there. It is so cold at the South Pole that the average summer temperature is minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest temperature ever recorded in the United States is minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit at Prospect Creek in Camp, Alaska. At Prospect Creek Camp, Alaska. The wettest place on Earth is Tutunendo, Colombia, where an average of 463 inches of rain falls every year. Now, to put that in perspective, the illustrator drew you a chart. See that man? That's your dad. Okay? Your average adult man is 72 inches tall. Now, so much rain falls in the jungle. 463 inches. Look how deep the water would be if your dad jumped in it. And that's how much rain falls in the jungle. The driest place in the world is the Atacama Desert in Chile, where no rain has fallen for at least 400 years. Any place that receives less than 10 inches of precipitation a year is considered a desert. The driest place in the United States is Death Valley, California, where only about 1.5 inches of rain falls every year. But this place in Chile has received no rain in over 400 years. It is also very windy near the tops of the world's highest mountains, the Himalayas. Many of these peaks are tall enough to reach the jet stream, a narrow, strong air current that is found above 28,000 feet. The windiest spot on Earth is atop Mount Washington in New Hampshire, though. A wind speed of 231 miles per hour has been recorded there. Cars don't even go that fast. The world's highest waterfall is Angel Falls in Venezuela. It is 3,212 feet high. Angel Falls is more than 17 times higher than Niagara Falls, 180 feet, and that's in New York State. Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, Africa, carries more water than any other waterfall. It is 355 feet high. But Angel Falls in Venezuela is the highest, 3,212 feet. Here's Angel Falls in Venezuela. And the illustrator has shown a chart again using our tallest building, the Empire State Building, to compare just how tall that waterfall is. That waterfall is probably almost 3 Empire State Buildings tall. The deepest spot in the ocean is the Marianas Trench in the Philippines. It is 36,202 feet deep. The average depth of the world's ocean is about 3 miles, or 16,000 feet. But the lowest spot on dry land is the shore of the Dead Sea, 1,100 feet below sea level. But the deepest spot in the ocean, 36,202 feet deep. The world's most active volcano is Sanjay in Ecuador. Since 1937, it has erupted once every 24 hours on average. It once erupted more than 400 times in a single day. Other very active volcanoes include Colima in Mexico. It has erupted regularly since 1560. Also, Aso in Japan, erupting since 533, and Mount Etna in Italy, erupting regularly since 1500 BC. The most extreme tides occur in the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, Canada. There, the water level rises and falls more than 50 feet every 6 hours. The tide here comes in so fast that it can overtake a person trying to outrun it. The snowiest place on Earth is Mount Rainier in Washington State. One year, more than 1,200 inches of snow fell there. Mount Rainier is covered in snow the whole year. Some of the snow has formed glaciers, masses of ice that slowly move down the mountain under their own weight. And to help you understand 1,200 inches of snow, the illustrator has given you another chart. There's a little man at the very bottom. That's your dad. The average man? Average 6 feet. And that's how high the snowfall is compared to your average man. Oh, let me out of here. Does that really give you a clue of how deep 1,200 inches would be? If you want to learn a lot about the hottest, coldest, highest, and deepest places in the earth, I really suggest you look at this book yourself. There are so many helpful charts and graphs that the illustrator has created so that you could understand this non-fiction book. And it could help you to answer a lot of questions about the world you live in.